Hello and welcome into the SorareData Gameweek 417 preview. I'm Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Those of you watching live, notice I'm here by myself. Don't worry, it's just temporary. We had a little timing issue and Quinny will be here, but not yet. And so I'm going to use this time to show off some cool things that we are working on at SorareData that will, I think, actually change this show quite a bit, because we've been working on some things that will make getting prepared for game weeks better. And so we're still in the process of working on this. It's like literally still in the design phase, but I just wanted to show off a few things. Maxine used to show these things off all the time during the French Twitch stream, and then we started doing it during office hours. And so we're just going to do it here because why not? SR Monkey, congrats being first in. Feel like there's like everything is right in the world when SR Monkey is first in the chat. WP Gaming, don't start work until 2200 UK time. I have no idea what that means. I'm just kidding. I know what it means. Quinny uses 24-hour time as well. It throws me off. Mike Baston, what's up? It's Wilson. We got Pineapple. I know everybody's like doing all the fist bumps, but Quinny is not here yet. Rikamon, what's up? We'll have to do it again when he comes back, when he like comes in. Looking for food says happy proper football returning day. Yeah, man, this is just such a. Is this like the longest international break in history? Like, I know it's not, but everyone's feels like super long. Hoodwink, what's up? Alberico, Ian, Kev Hurd, Parrot Press. If anybody hasn't checked out, Parrot Press did this fun video on YouTube about the next sport on Sorare. We don't know what it is, but he was speculating what it is. And I think it made a whole lot of sense. And the video itself was really well done. So Parrot Press, thank you for that. And yeah, everybody go check that out. The Mailman, what's up? Glenn, how you doing? Jesper Scott, afternoon, everyone. Ziki Zaki, hello. Sorare Malta, glad the Malta bashing is finally over. It's I imagine those international breaks can be a bit tough for someone named Sorare Malta. It's Wilson. It felt longer than the World Cup, right? Like it did feel super long. And man, Alex Wilson, spoiler alert, but Berger Mealing is the number 4 defender pick scorer in All-Star this game week, number 2 in Challenger, and number 1 in all cat modes. Wow. That's fun. That is fun. Rikuman, weird requests. That's what we're here for. Just weird requests. But can we get a dynamic app logo on Android? It bugs me is that it's the only app that doesn't support it on my home screen. A dynamic app logo. What does that do? Like, what is I wonder what that does. Red or Dead, what's up? And then Tobias, yeah, it's burger time. We'll get there. But man, that is now I got to look ahead. Is he really that high? Like, why? I know they had like a banging matchup, I guess, but sometimes that's all that matters. Look at that. Right after Kieran Trippier. Sorare Malta, I was actually referring to these shows. You and Quinny saying the guys who play Malta every time. Oh, yeah. To be honest, we do throw quite a bit of shade at Malta because of the matches they have to play. So apologies for that. Ricoman said it means supports color theming, so it changes. Oh, that. I have no idea. And Alex Wilson, that's right. San Marino scored. We've seen it all. Yeah. GG's to all the Denmark defensive stacks out there. But yeah, sometimes you just concede to San Marino. So anyway, I don't want to get too far into the Mickey Fu said that I'd say bash Denmark from now on after that embarrassing 2-1 win. Like, at least they won. That's how they'll look into it. So I don't know exactly when Quinny will be here, as weird as that sounds. Like, we're kind of playing by ear. I don't want to get too far into the game week, so I do want to show off what we've been working on for basically something that can become a huge part of this show. And when we started working on this internally at SorareData, we were kind of like, what do people want to see as they are getting ready for a game week. And obviously the lineup builder is a big part of the way that people get ready by seeing kind of what matchups they have, if they have good pick score players. And there's so much information in the lineup builder. And even some of what we have in the lineup builder can then be turned into something else. Like we have the pick scores, which then feed the suggested lineups, which then help with the lineup strength indicators. And the more that we develop these tools, the more it can expand. And so that's how we want to kind of keep going. Is the goal for everything we do is to produce products and tools and features that help people play Sorare and then just constantly improve them. And so I think we're getting there with this game week preview. So I'll show you what we're looking at. Vincent said, let's go catching one live, this time driving home from work. So thank you for joining. Let's see. And Glenn said, Trubin being the only U23 keeper this midweek and having an error led to goal in the first 20 minutes is the most Sorare thing ever. That happened last week too, didn't it? To whose goalie is it? Andorra's goalie? Yeah, Andorra, right? I forget what his name is. I know Harry has one, but yeah, he had I think he had the same thing. I think he had an error led to goal or an own goal, something like that. And he was the only one. And Iker something or other, right? You guys are making me look it up. Iker Alvarez, here he is. Yeah, he was the only one. And then, yeah, dropped an 18 and a 4-0 loss to Andorra. Oh, he didn't even have it. He just had the guillotine. That's all. Bummer, dude. Mike Basson says, stop teasing and show us. All right. This is what you're supposed to do. So actually, I'm going to tease it a little more. So one of the things that we feel like is the next step in lineup building is understanding how competitive your lineup is in terms of like winning rewards or getting a threshold, or how high we think the scores are going to be for winning rewards. And so that's what we want to show off. But great news, Quinny's here now.
Hey.
Oh, that's a I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
Quinny rushed
Catch me
in,
at my finest.
But every time you're on, Quinny, it's the finest. I was just showing off what is going to be a new game week preview tool that we have at SorareData. So nice. Just to preface this, this is just a design. It's not operational yet. So you'll see there will be some wonky things. And it's just like a design thing. Like if there are 8 of the same players, it's not because we forgot that they're not 8 Harry Kanes. But anyway, so here's what it'll look like. So it's going to have all these different sections. Basically, it's going to figure out what it considers your best lineups will be based on the strength indicator. So it'll run all of your lineups and essentially say like your best shot is in Champion Europe, Rare Pro, Rare Plus. Knew I was going to mess that up. Or Challenger, and here's your strength indicator, and this is where we think how competitive it will be to win a reward. And then basically overall how competitive we think the game week will be. You'll see the matchups here. This is basically just coming from the matchups page, but it's going to be the top ones. So you can see like right away which teams have the best matchups, which players have the highest pick scores. And again, there's that like see more, so you can see it in, you can see all the pick scores there. It'll lead you there. And then what we want to do here, and we're calling it competitivity, which I struggle to say despite just absolutely nailing it right there. But it will basically show like how competitive your best lineup will be, or how we think it'll be, and then kind of what we think the average will be, and then how many entries, and then basically like how difficult it will be to win a reward, particularly based on your lineup. And so the idea here is, instead of you having to manually build like all of your lineups and just being like, all right, where are my best shots? This will be like your best shot is an all-star limited. This is where we think this is how competitive we think it will be in terms of winning a reward. Charlie, I don't know if competitivity is a word. I think it is. I said that to somebody else and they were like, it is, but it might've been I think it was competitive. No, because I knew competitiveness was a word. Anyway, but how competitive your lineup will be. And then we'll have our regular kind of the game breakdown of all the games that are happening. And then a quick link to if you want to do the lineup projections to compete in that competition. And that's what we have. That's at least one thing that we're working on. And as I'm showing it here, it is in dark mode. We also have it in light mode for everybody who does it. Like we've said previously, that every tool we build now, we're designing it to have both. And so all of you dark mode people who live in caves can just comfortably look and not get so bright. So none of this is like final, but it is like, I just wanted to show you guys that kind of based on this show and based on the lineup builder and how people are kind of using our tools to get ready for game weeks, we think this will be just another tool that Star members likely will be able to get. Sorry, Charlie, I was probably hurting your eyes with that light mode. But yeah, so this is what is to come. I'm not going to give any time frame on how long it takes because I do none of the work that even designs this or develops it or test. Well, I do test it a little bit, but like soon, but not probably Sorare soon, not SorareData soon. But yeah, so I think honestly, this will end up being part of our show that we're going to go in and see, all right, how competitive are we and what can we do from here? And then of course, you can direct link to this show.
Hey,
for the game. Here we are.
How cute is that? Love it.
Yeah. So yeah, there it is.
I really like that average strength column in the competitivity.
That's what I mean. It's like, even if it is a word, it's just a tough one to say.
Yeah, definitely for Scottish people, that's going to be an impossible one, like burglar alarm and stuff like that. But what I wanted to ask you was, see that column, is that populated from SorareData accounts only, or is the system like blanket doing that across like everyone on Sorare to establish that?
You mean in terms of the strength or the entries? Average
strength, that multiplier there.
Is
it just SorareData customers or SorareData users, or is it like API'd?
I don't know. I would assume that it is like the average of all of the combinations that we know that could happen. Like theoretical, it's probably more theoretical than it is like actual galleries.
But what combos is it taking? Is it just SorareData members, or is it literally everyone?
I think it's everyone. Well, so it's like probably every card possibility, not necessarily every gallery. So that like it may include like a lineup that as of right now doesn't exist because like somebody doesn't happen to have these 5 cards. But but I don't want to. I don't know what it is yet. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know the exact definition. I think it's more just relative strength to like the top ones.
Because that's great detail that if you can see, because even on that example page there, average strength in second division Euro 51, but your strength is 78. That kind of intel is like beautiful. Like, so that's a great column to. I want to know more about for sure.
And I think and when it comes out, I'll do a whole video explaining everything and what it means. And I don't know if this entries is actually like how many entries we're expecting, because they're usually somewhat
consistent,
predictable in terms of the number of entries, not to the to the single entry, but all of that. But anyway,
Pablo's comment.
What's that?
Pablo's comment.
Looking like a Sorare employee with the answers. Yeah.
It's like Dan's line. I'm just back from holiday, so
yeah, I got off the plane 5 minutes ago. What happened? Yeah. WP Gaming said, I'd like someone at SorareData to find the user that's won the most rewards, had the highest gallery value, that's also never logged into SorareData using their account. That's actually easier to figure out than, like, we probably know it. But we will not name them because they just deserve all the scorn for not using the site.
who is the Rain Man that has SorareData in their head?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
You know,
Exactly. Yeah, we'll see. Mike was asking, is it based on card combos regardless of whether anyone can field that team? I think it's not. I think it is not necessarily that everyone can field the team or anyone, but again, I'll look back. Like I know for the lineup strength indicator, so it's basically a scale of like how close are you to the top score, and the top score is actually just essentially the top pick score position, like players at each position for that competition, and then the highest next one for the extra. So that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody has that combination of players. It's just that that's the highest you can get, and then we're comparing your lineup to the theoretical highest. So there's that. Anyway, Quinny, we've got a game week to get to. Let's do that. Actually, before I do that, if anybody has anything that they would like to see in here that like we don't have here, I will say that there are other things we considered putting in here, and we either decided to put them elsewhere. So there might be like something you're like, oh, it'd be really cool to see this. And there are other things we're working on that might have that. So, but yeah, any feedback, like feel free to reach out to me. Twitter's probably the best at Andrew M. Laird. You can find me on Discord. I have no idea what my Discord name is. Might be Andrew M. Laird, actually. That seems like it would be helpful. But if not, Lairdinho, something like that. Anyway. Charlie said, I would like to see the word competitivity abolished. See, the more I say it, the easier it's getting. I'm just going to start using it all the time. It's going to be the opposite of abolished. I'm going to overuse it so that...
Bring it back.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Game week 417. Chengdu Rongcheng, who I thought was the top favorite for the midweek, but I guess not. Did they move their match? And I take that back. I looked ahead very briefly during limited time only. That's why I know that. Oh, sorry, Victor. The toggle in both best matchups and best players to show all in your gallery. So best pick scores of just your players. I get that. I think we were trying to put that into the pick score page as well. Pick score page is definitely not done. So like there's more to come with that. But anyway, so we've got a Chinese Super League team as the biggest favorite. Are there any cards? Of course. Oh, that's right. It's the Maxime lookalike Felipe.
Target man.
I don't think there's any other player on the platform that looks like someone else I know more than Felipe and Maxime Hagenberger. But anyway, so I imagine that won't have a humongous effect on anything, but we've got some challenger teams at the top. PSV home against Fortuna. Jeez. Feyenoord against Vitesse. We've got some, not many. Oh, there's PSG and Bayern. I was going to say, there doesn't seem to be that many big champion Europe teams, but I feel like this list looks the same every week. Anything jump out at you quickly?
Yeah, it doesn't feel too like Bayern away to Mainz isn't, a bad game. It's also a good one for Bayern in general, but they are kind of like a bit of a basket case at the moment in terms of the squad and a few other bits and pieces of injuries and stuff. But yeah, even you see Liverpool up there in the top order, but they're playing a derby, so like, a pinch of salt comes with that straight away. And then Man City are playing Brighton. It's not a gimme either. Nope. And yeah, even like Vitesse, Feyenoord. Vitesse normally have some good players. I don't think they have for a year or two, really. But so yeah, I don't think there's any. Normally, when you come onto this matchups tab, you're looking at the top 3 or 4 being top V bottoms or Powerhouse versus Minnow. And I know PSV Citadar is really good looking there, and maybe Fenerbahce's is as well, but it's maybe not that quite jump out at you like, oh yeah, Celtic are at home, and so's Ajax, and so's Sporting, and that kind of thing. Yeah,
we also have the big thing about the fact that it's currently an international break and players are going to be coming back from wherever they went. And so I feel like we always have like the long discussions of like when the guys from South America finally make the trip back to Europe. There were matches last night here, early morning for you guys for Europe. And so, yeah, like Chani's saying, Bayern's going to struggle to put out their strongest team as German players have extremely little time to come back from the U.S. tour to play versus Mainz. And then I know Kimmich went home because he was sick. I think he's questionable for this weekend. And so maybe we get kind of some, I don't want to call it like a rotated Bayern, but we might. And then David Alves, Neymar shockingly hurt yesterday before a return to Saudi Arabia. Who could have seen that coming? And then Ricoman does point out, and this hit my gallery a little bit, but yeah, there's no Premier League in Portugal this weekend because they play cup games, which seems like a really good idea after a international break. Like ease the guys back in with a cup game, maybe play the full matches, and I'm all for that. But let's jump into the regionals here. We'll kick off with second division Europe. We've got Ipswich as the biggest favorite, the only one over 60%, followed by Espanyol, Hamburger SV, Hamburg, if you will, Cremonese, and Catanzaro, which I did not know existed until this very moment.
Nice.
But let's see. West Brom, Watford. I mean, it looks like a fairly regular week. Is Ipswich? They're not minted, right?
No. Nah, they may have a couple of cards, but
yeah,
I think they were the division below that last year as well. But a lot of licensed teams on this one. Sometimes when you come into Division 2 for the weekend, some of the problem can be those championship teams that have top V bottoms and they just don't have cards or anything. But when you look at the division there, like Espanyol, Hamburg, Cremonese, Watford, Grenoble, Valladolid, Ajaccio, Leicester, there's tons of cards between like 7 or 8 teams in that top kind of 10 or so. But like you say, I don't think any of the numbers there really jump out. The one that does is the Catanzaro one for the opposition scores. They are just 71 for the goalkeeper, and so that looks like a really good game. But I don't know if there's any footprint on that. But nothing else really stands out. Yeah,
not many cards for the Catanzaro Calcio 2011. 2011. Yeah. That's funny to see. Let's see. There was a Sorare Malta who was upset that we kept crapping on Malta over the international break. Said the Watford stack is ready to smash, best match of the season. I didn't even see they played Sheffield Wednesday. And then Ziki Zaki said Espanyol seem way too high as they're playing first versus second.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Tobias said the matchup looks better than it is.
That is misleading. Lugano or Leganés, is that? Let me see the table. Oh, yeah, Leganés second. 1 point between them. Top of the table clash for sure.
Huh. I wonder why it's so lopsided.
So away from home, Leganés have lost 2 of their last 3 to Elche and Burgos. We know Burgos also from last year with the goalkeeper. Espanyol at home, undefeated in 5. I don't know if it's maybe a wee bit of the home away element maybe coming into it, perhaps.
It is just surprising that it's that. I mean, 59% is a pretty high number for a top of the table. Yeah, I don't know. Back to Watford, though. WP Gaming said Imran Luza needs to be that guy again.
He's at Watford, isn't he?
What's that?
He's at Watford now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Luza. Yeah, could be a good game. I didn't know Sheffield Wednesday were doing so bad.
I didn't either.
Yeah, good game for Watford on that one. I was actually have a wee peek at France there, and I seen the Ajaccio team up in that.
Ooh.
Oh yeah! Wow, rock bottom.
11 matches.
18 conceded. That is a great game for Watford. Great match.
Yeah.
Forward isn't expected to do well, but which is unusual. But lots of 8 expected.
Although, I mean, 18 conceded is fairly competitive with like some of the other teams, like Southampton are 21, Norwich 19. So 18 is not that many, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why the forwards tend not to score quite as well. But yeah. Yeah, Mike said it's simple. Yeah, Espanyol home form and Leganés away, not as great. So I guess. Ziki Zaki said Leganés will probably defend for their lives, 20% possession and 3 defensive mids, which certainly helps the AA for the Espanyol guys. And Tobias said Sheffield Wednesday have a new manager. Little new manager bump.
Yeah, that can happen.
Maybe. Anything can happen. That's right. This should be a good one. Auxerre and Khan. That's a fairly middle. Yeah, I mean, both of them who do Leeds away to Norwich, which is not that fun. Southampton away to Hull.
A lot of gimmick kind of matches there, isn't it? So quite the thing with second division, particularly the championship, is it is famed for how unpredictable it can be.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of who becomes the top clubs and that kind of thing. Another team there that was or another game that came on screen there was Leganés and not Leganés, I beg your pardon, Levante against Tenerife. I don't know what it was, but it came on page a minute ago. And that's like that's third versus fourth, that one. So that'll be maybe another high AA match, perhaps. Maybe that's what the read is on these types of matches. If it's going to be low scoring, tight
there are
affairs.
definitely some Tenerife stacks out there. I've seen a few people talk about their collections because I think they have a big win recently, like a high scoring. Maybe not. Maybe it was just this 2-0 against Santander. They score really well. Yeah, so a bunch of greens, I guess.
Aye, goalkeeper on a 70+ will help.
Yep, always does. All right, I got nothing else on them. Nothing's jumping out at me, at least.
No blockbusters in there.
No. So for Asia, we have K-League and J-League are back. There are some matches, I think, on Friday before the deadline, so we do miss out on a few. We were talking about that. We talked about that last week or Monday 2 days ago. I think Urawa will play, and then Urawa definitely play. So obviously they will not play this weekend. So the top minted team is Seoul, which you just absolutely love to see if you're somebody with a few Seoul players like myself. Unfortunately, Quinny cannot join me in the key celebrations this week anymore, but they're home against Gangwon. Sanfrecce, oh man. It seems like decent opportunities for high scores, at least from Seoul, Sanfrecce, Yokohama.
At home, good matches.
That's, as somebody with Seoul cards, I didn't want to see that. Sorare FC Seoul says, "Do not trust Seoul in the final B with nothing to play for." All right, I like that.
Yeah. They're good for down in tools. I think they done that to me last year a wee bit, where post split. I think I remember, because I think one of the years I had Key, they finished bottom half, and it was like, oh great, Seoul are bottom half, so they should smash everyone, and they didn't care. I don't think. I think they just went and got a bunch of draws and stuff like that, and just seen the season out.
Yeah, so that's what they have now, but they're like so far away from relegation that, yeah.
They did me last time. That was that situation.
It's disappointing for somebody who has, like I said, Seoul cards.
Yeah, could be. It's one of those ones. Who are they playing? Gangwon. So they're still fighting.
And they're
yeah.
Although, I think no. I think. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, that's
not much.
Who was that? Sorare FC Seoul and looking for food. Appreciate that, guys. That's like exactly the kind of information that I love seeing pop up in the chat during this show, because obviously we're sitting here having no idea. So anyone who can provide that stuff in the chat is really, really helpful. SR Ducky said, not many favorable fixtures this weekend, maybe on for a low scoring game week finally. We haven't gotten to the good stuff yet. There's some Challenger could be quite something. MLS is also in their last week. This is their last round of matches. They're like a handful of teams, not even a handful of teams that, can still make the playoffs. There's really not much movement that can happen. I'll just pull that up also. So let's see here. So we do have DC United, Red Bulls, and Chicago Fire, and Charlotte. And I guess New York City FC could sneak in. I don't think they've technically been eliminated, but it's really just them.
Yeah.
And the Western Conference is just a hot mess, but it looks like Sporting, KC, and Minnesota at least have a shot.
They play each other this week. I'm Team Johnny Russell.
DC are eliminated. How are DC eliminated if they're sitting ninth?
I think they've finished on 40, so I think they're not playing any more
they're
matches.
Already 34. Yep. Yeah, and I guess one of these teams. I didn't even look at the matchups yet, but I'm guessing one of these teams Like one of
I
these.
think
has to get
NYC play. I think NYC play Chicago, if memory serves.
You are correct.
Yeah. So it's it's a hot mess, MLS, in this one to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah. So if that match is a draw, Chicago moves ahead, and then if New York City win, they're ahead.
Yeah.
And then what is it? Charlotte plays Miami, likely without Messi. So they win, they get to 42.
It's the Red Bulls then. Who are they playing? They are playing, I'll go and tell you. Red Bulls also have Nashville.
And Nashville, I think, is comfortable and not really moving any. Like, I don't think this section moves enough that it matters. So, but yeah, it's one of those weeks where everyone is going to complain that the lineup projections were wrong, and it's because nobody knows.
Yeah. Well, we crazy in that sense. And then even some of these other South American teams, they're always really hard to predict the kind of when they go from midweeks, because they've been playing Sudamericanas and stuff like that recently. So when they go from, or even when they double up their fixtures, we've seen it with Argentina and Brazil, they've got like a midweek team and a weekend team.
Yeah.
And it's not always as black and white as that, but it's more of a kind of pick and mix. It's like the coaches sometimes just close their eyes and like just pull names out of a hat and go, right, you're right back. And then, okay, we'll have you up front today. And it can be an absolute nightmare to try and keep on top of some of those ones.
Glenn saying Messi played last night, bag 2, he won't play tonight. So they play Charlotte again this weekend. Like they play back to back in 3
games,
4 days, 5 days, whatever it is. And so it's going to be maybe he play, who knows? But I don't, who knows? This is a turf game too. Charlotte plays on turf. So I don't know if Messi will come back with no chance at the playoffs. But let's see. We got Columbus Crew against, is that Montreal? Yep.
Yeah.
Club America against Santos. That's fun. San Jose and Austin. I think Austin was eliminated a long time ago. Yeah, and San Jose is still holding on. So I guess that's why San Jose are so high. LDU Kyoto. There you go. Sure, Nep's happy about that. Atlas against Mazatlan. But like I said, this part of the season, like I feel like anything can happen. And so it makes it really hard to, I guess Liga MX is still firmly in their season.
I was going to say, we got new Necaxa cards. I think it was yesterday or something.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested to know why you're smiling when I say that. But I thought, number one, they looked quite cool. I was quite surprised they came out and they're not 3D. But they did look a little bit different to like some of, I don't know. Do you know what I'm getting at? Is that why you're smiling as well?
No. Well, kind of. So they do this. So it was Nexaca, Tigres, Santos, and Atlas. So like the 4 Liga MX teams that they have, they minted now. Necaxa was just eliminated from the playoffs. Like they cannot make the playoffs, and they minted their cards yesterday. And this happened last year, I think, with Santos, that they mint their cards and then they got eliminated, and you had like literally one game of utility before they were off until January or so. And so these cards are technically 2023 cards. So like the America card, so they look similar to the other America cards that have already come out. Like they did they did a few Argentinos juniors cards before they stopped. They somehow like did some of their cards and then stopped. But it's like the 2023 design. So it's like this card. It looks like this. But yeah, so these cards are not 3D, which it looks so strange to come out with new cards and not have them be 3D. But it's like kind of the not generic, but it's the America look, the non-MLS America look for the new cards. But yeah, we were talking.
I like the rares. The rares look quite cool.
We were talking about how much we like the the half head look. Mm-hmm. We have any rares yet of Guzman? No.
He's definitely practiced that for his album cover, hasn't he?
Did you see the highlight of him or was it during Leagues Cup?
The thing with the nose, the magic
Yeah.
tricks and all that. Yeah.
The magic tricks, yeah. For those who didn't see it, he was getting ready to defend a penalty, and he like asked for like time for a second, and then he did like a magic trick where he was like pulling string out of his nose, and then he saved the penalty.
He's some character.
He's absurd. He is beyond absurd. But I have his card, so I hope he plays forever. All right, Challenger is where I think all of the whole like, oh, scores won't be that high is where it all goes down the tubes, because PSV, Feyenoord. Do we pronounce this Bodo? I don't know what despite being in the Sorare Scandinavia Discord, it's all text, so I can't see how you pronounce this.
In Scotland, we say Bodo. We've played them and been linked to a few other players, but in Scotland, it's Bodo. I don't know if it is.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Fenerbahce, who is that? This is Hatayspor, excuse me. USG against Eupen, AZ against Herenveen. God, this is getting ugly.
Yeah.
Jonathan saying Baudu, which I don't know. I'll just have to believe you. Copenhagen's got a good one. Rangers up here. Bruges away to Kortrijk. There's Celtic. What is that? Oh, Hearts. Yeah.
Hearts. That's
Zenit, shockingly. Do we really have Luzerne cards? No. Got a few guys, I guess. Is that Max Meyer? Oh, wow. Is that like the same one?
I didn't know he had cards.
Crystal Palace?
Is it? Must be. I didn't know he had cards.
Wow. He has one rare.
He's only 28.
I was just about to say that. Like, no way he's only 28.
Wow. One rare.
Does he even have cards? Like, we're not actually showing them.
What does he score like? I know the L5s and that are there, but what does he actually do? Yeah.
Dream Oblivion saying it's the wrong picture.
Oh, I was going to say, I didn't really recognize him either.
Yeah. Anyway, so we don't have to worry about that too much. So yeah, I think like we're getting to the opposite. Like some of the bigger teams that we're used to seeing score well, Twente, Salzburg, Genk, Zagreb, like they don't have like phenomenal matchups. But yeah, Galatasaray and Besiktas this weekend, that should be fun for people who don't have those cards.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, I go back to it, like if you have like a Walwick stack or an NEC here, and you're like, I'm going to clean up when they play Volendam or is that Almere City?
Yeah.
It's really tough to do it when PSV also play Fortuna. It's like, it's just tough.
Yeah.
These guys should smash. And while they do have some international players, like a lot of them just don't have too many of them. So they've essentially just lightly trained over the last 2 weeks. So I don't know. I'm expecting bigger scores in Challenger than anywhere else.
I think a lot of the regions are going to be overpopulated for the next couple of game weeks anyway, because obviously with the Super Cap thing being on the go, I still think people will still play 270. But like, for example, if for my rares, it would maybe have been the 4 for 5 team I was picking. I know it doesn't make much of a difference, but it's now like the last team I'm picking. So I think people still play it, right? But the thing with 270 that we all know is that you can only really get one like stud into that team, one captain guy that's maybe capable of smashing 100. Maybe he's got a high L15 sort of thing. But now if you've like, and how many guys do most people have in their gallery that fit that mold? Probably not that many. I would only probably say I've got maybe about 3 or 4. So if you're no longer going to play that guy in 270, like he has been useful for you because you can hide from some of the power stacks in 270, where maybe that individual piece is part of a bigger puzzle. It'd be really interesting to see where a lot of those power players kind of go. Do people fly them all back into All-Star? Do they trickle out into regions? Because you're not going to find them in 240s or anything like that, obviously. So, anyway, I think the regions will probably be where a lot of people maybe take their captain this week, their guy with a banger score up his sleeve.
I think that's a really, really good point, and one that I hadn't really thought enough about, that there are some people who have like prioritized 270 recently. And so they are getting their like best player in there and then kind of surrounding them with what they can. And yeah, if the month-long competition kind of turns them off, now that banger card, which maybe, maybe not an L15 of 65, but maybe it's one of 60, is now going to go back into either the regions or All-Star, U23 maybe. And yeah, it makes those a little more competitive. That's a great point. The other one was the MLS competition. Are you going to put a lineup in to win a Zoom call with some random MLS player?
I've not actually investigated the MLS one yet, to be honest with you. So I've not looked into it. I'm going to say no. I'll have a quick look at it, actually. Oh, do you need new season cards? Oh, I've got season cards, actually.
I think 2 new season cards. And you can win, I believe it's a Zoom call with an MLS player along with a Sorare jersey. Ooh. And then I don't even remember what the rest of the prize pool is.
I think I might play that, actually.
Here we go.
I might. We'll see what happens. I've got a team. I could do it. How many? I've got. Yeah, I could play Ladero. I've got enough cards. I could do that. I mean, have we?
You have enough new
player
ones?
access too. Yeah, player access sounds fun to me.
There we go. Oh yeah. Oh, it's 3 jerseys and then some MLS store gift cards, which I think is kind of a fun wrinkle there.
Yeah, I was looking in the rare one because I've not got limiteds. I've only got a few bits and pieces. That price pool looks a bit more exciting. But I don't know how many people will go into that, maybe. Maybe that's the sort of thing you'll find the Ryan Golds turn up in rather than being in 270. The Sorare jersey is the one that, I think when it says Sorare jersey, I think it is like the thing they designed. Because I remember when we did the Liverpool thing, I were talking about it recently, how we were wearing bibs rather than kits.
Yeah.
But Dan said to us that they had ordered kits and they were slightly different from the one that Messi wore, but they're basically the same. But maybe I think the collar's a bit different or something. And there was like customs issues; they just didn't get delivered to us in time for the game. So I've got a feeling that they've got the shirts.
Yeah. Rikoman said, "I assume the Sorare jersey is the Messi one." They've been showing off. I wonder if I can find it because they did something with Thiago Almada and I think Carlos Gil as well, where they picked their team or whatever, and they were wearing a shirt.
It's orange or red, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, here it is. Hold on. That's it.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's nice. It looks a wee bit Las Vegas-y, but I never really noticed that.
I agree. The comment that I had, and I still stand by this, that the one that Messi wore is so nice that I would wear it out to a nice dinner. It had a nice collar, and it just looked like fresh and crisp. And I mean, this is nice, but this feels more like a t-shirt.
A training kit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a training kit. Exactly. Yeah, Chani said has an RSL flair to it. Yeah, I see that. It's just like a color we're not used to seeing around Sorare. Plus this kind of like script Sorare. What does it say underneath? Worldwide. Sorare worldwide.
Cool. Nice badge.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So you can't win that with Challenger cards, just as I go back to the Challenger. But all of your MLS cards, or as long as 2 are new ones, you can go win that. Are there anything here that you think is wrong? I'm trying to see. The further I go down, the less I think it even matters. But
I think Hajduk Split looks like a good game. They're at home to Ocelec, is that? I'm not too sure where they are in the league at the moment, but seeing Hajduk at home always catches my eye. Just would be normally number 2 in Croatia. It's like the.
I'm glad Chani is here, because one team that I feel like is never favored, and they are favored this week, is Orenburg.
Right.
Which
the Argentinian guy.
which we can finally get our Gabby Florentin cards going. I know Chani. I assume, actually, I have no idea if Chani still has his, but I have a rare and a super rare, and I've just been dying. He was hurt for a little bit, and then he came back off the bench. Sorry to talk about my own gallery for a little bit. Played the second half of this game, 1-0 loss, and I had 33 AA in the 45 minutes.
So we live for.
Chani said if Florentin doesn't start finally, I'm fuming. Yeah, no, he's locked into the best lineup this week, Chani. He's going to easy 100. Easy. Let's see. We've got Ajax away to Utrecht. It's kind of shocking to see Ajax favored away to anybody at this point for how bad they've been.
Yeah.
And then not the ideal week for Midtjylland, unfortunately.
Away to OB, are they good?
Yeah. They'll be all right, but not the smash spot we all hope for. Anyway, Champion Europe, PSG, Bayern, Liverpool, Monaco, Borussia Dortmund, Man City, Man United. Have you ever heard of those teams?
No. Yeah. I think this is where all the big viewing comes for the weekend, isn't it? Normally, as champ, there's always some headlines to be made. Most people now, especially with limiteds, have got a bit of a footprint in whatever one of these clubs they tend to like anyway.
Yeah.
We mentioned Bayern a little bit earlier with that whole international thing. That's definitely going to be I don't think that goes to script, just even with that aside, But yeah, I think one thing I was going to say about Challenger, it's definitely relevant for basically every team on screen here, is obviously we've got the return from internationals, but we also have very quickly midweeks that will be coming straight off the back of this. So there'll be a very low amount of 90-minute men, I think, particularly like good cards that people are probably looking forward to using post-international window. There'll be a lot of minute management going on, I suspect.
Yeah, not to ruin Monday's show, but yeah, we've got Champions League, Europa, and Europa Conference, all that good stuff next week. So yeah, it's just so much that is coming through them. Your Girona boys pretty high up the list.
Yeah, great fixture at home to Almeria, this weekend. So that's looking good for me. I'm quite happy with that.
As somebody with a Luis Maximiano card, I'm expecting a 10-0 Girona win.
Oh, good. That sounds fun. But I think it's once you get past those bigger clubs, because Man United I know it's Sheffield United, right? But I don't think anyone can be picking any Man United player other than Bruno with any degree of confidence on output.
Agreed.
Even Newcastle Palace, like I seen an interesting statistic this morning, maybe, but I think last season, head to head, Newcastle Palace, both games were maybe 0-0 or something like that. So, and if you look at the league table, then now Palace have got like a top 4, top 5 defense. They've also scored like next to 0 goals. They've not been scoring many. So could be a good AA one for Newcastle, but I'm not as sure it could be. They spanked somebody right before the international window. I don't think it's that kind of game. But it's more the games underneath that order there. That's where I think some of the fight happens in Champ Euro, like Girona at home, Fiorentina at home, Sociedad at home, even Barca. They've not got, the squad is really thin, but like it's not as if they've got 25 internationals in their squads these days. It's just the way this kind of went. So that's a decent kind of game for them, I think. And then even Roma at home to Monza, Freiburg at home to Bochum. I think Champion Euro could be quite competitive this week.
Yeah,
even Leverkusen.
Kind of like what I said. Where is Leverkusen? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Away to Wolfsburg. I was just the whole, when you are making a stack and there are like certain matchups you want to hit. Like I mentioned this with the whoever was playing Volendam, I don't even remember, and NEC. But like if you have a Brentford stack and you're like, all right, they got Burnley this week, here we go. And it's like, yeah, but you're also competing against all of this above it. And it's just like, oh, right, okay. Tottenham Fulham could be.
That could be a good one.
Yeah, a good one too. There was a quick question where was Sorare FC Seoul was asking if Lehan Biam was going to make his debut for Midtjylland. I don't think so yet. He has been training, but I don't think he's going to start for a while. And that's right. Free bomb. Yeah. Germ said Castile's injured on international duty, which makes it a little tougher for them against Leverkusen, but.
Ooh, love that. Great detail. I didn't know that.
Yep. And there are some big teams with like slightly different ones. Like we've got Madrid away to Sevilla.
Sevilla have just sacked their manager, so they're managerless at the moment, and they are like kind of bottom 4, bottom 6 in the league at the moment. So that is a pretty decent game. But Real, as you know, like it's a case of the Brazilians coming back from the international duty on time. They have Hosselu. Obviously, he's just chilling out, waiting for his starting spot. Yeah. But yeah, I think that'll be a good game for Real Madrid. It's just if you can pick the lineup, really, is probably, or pick the high scorers outside of Bellingham.
Mike Basson said Castiles was actually ill, not injured, so maybe he does slot back in. But what was the other one that
AC
jumped out
versus
at me?
Juve. That's going to be a good game.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, Milan Juve.
Sorry. It's a good
No,
one.
no. Glad we saw the same thing. Arsenal away to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Union
TV
against
games.
Stuttgart. Yeah, there's some good. Yeah.
So what I'm thinking with some of these games, Laird, right? Because we're probably going to let's just speculate, right? We're probably going to have this rivals mode. Let's say opened up within the month of October at some point, right? Will we be looking at matchups tabs, for example, and looking at Arsenal Chelsea in the future and going, oh yeah, that's the rivals game I'm getting on this week. I'll be watching that one on the telly. I'll be entering a wee league or whatever they're doing for it. Do you think that'll be something we'll tap into?
Do you think that they have it available for every game every weekend or like every game week? Or do they just pick like certain ones and are like, this is the rivals game of the weekend?
I'm expecting it to mirror Commons because it's meant to be some sort of mini onboarding thing. So like you should be able to, because I think the whole idea of it is you're able to watch the game. You're watching the game somewhere with someone and it's nudge, nudge, let's do this. Loser gets the shots in or something, you know. Depends on who you go to the pub with, obviously.
But, Alex said they have so far. Does that mean that they have opened it up for any game or just one? But yeah,
I've not had access to the test, so that's fun.
Alex said you can add in any cards you own. I didn't even think you had to own cards, to be honest.
I've seen the thing they announced, and then there was a graphic that went out in the last week or two, but I think that the point of it is like it'll give you commons, but if you have a unique, you can just play it. And I don't think it makes any difference. But like with your mate, they're like, oh, why is your card black, or why is your card red, or you know, I think it's just
you're like, here's my QR code, go buy one yourself.
For sure.
Alex said you can earn coins as well. Just what we need. More ways to make coins.
It's music to your ears. Sean Newsham. Sean Newsham loves the coins.
Yeah, he loves a good coin farming system. Anyway, quick, I realize we're getting a little long here, but like the top challenger teams for the game week are mixed in with the top champion teams. Some of them are overloaded. And so, I think that hope of low scores this week, I don't see it happening, unfortunately.
Don't really see any power stacks emerging from this, but I do think this is going to be the pick and mix players, like kind of game week, you know, where you've got the gold and then you've got the Real Madrid striker or defender or something. You know, it's going to be those kind of hodgepodgey teams, I think, where you and Gator Guy were talking a lot about this yesterday, but you know, it's like it's having you need to have options available and then it's picking the right ones for it, you know. So as we're going through that matchups tab, like for Division 2, for example, there was like some really good games there for like AA defenders, maybe a goalkeeper and stuff like that. But I do think like, you know, we've not looked at any of those regions and go, oh yeah, PSV. Like PSV have got a great game, right? But I don't expect that's not going to be a stack that reigns everywhere, you know, in particular. But it might be the Veerman pops off and so does the Bakayokos or these kind of things. So these busy weeks where the prize pools are bigger, I think it's, optimize team one.
I was going to say, I feel like Chani would be personally offended because he is a Feyenoord stacker here. And you say not a specific spot for a great stacker, although Vitesse can be sneaky a little bit. But
where would you play your Feyenoord stack? Say you have the Feyenoord stack. Where's the obvious place to run that this week?
It's All-Star for me.
All-Star?
I think I would run it in All-Star.
Fair.
I'm not running it in Cap 270, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a quick look at the pick scores as we were discussing Burger Mealing earlier. This is for All-Star Limited.
Ooh.
And they really like that Bordeaux matchup for Yohan Barbet.
Wow, they do.
Who does admittedly score really, really well. Gosh, that's actually better than I thought it was.
That's incredible.
And so 85, 62, 83, 80, 0 clean sheets. I'm sorry, 1 clean sheet in that 4 game.
That's phenomenal. And who are they playing?
Chinese playing Feyenoord Super Rare stack alongside Alex Garcia in Global Super Rare. Or All-Star.
That's a good team. So it's going to be Feyenoord versus Celtic at the top of the leaderboard, Chani. See you up there.
Love it. So yeah, Douglas Santos. There's Bruno away to Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield United. We were talking about Sheffield Wednesday earlier. Berardi home against Lazio. I feel like Berardi anywhere against anybody is pretty good.
Yep.
I do love seeing that in there.
A lot of great triple A's there. I see your Melling's up there as well. There must be an Andrew Laird stack up here in that top 15 or so.
I've got Bruno, Mealing. Now we got to scroll, unfortunately. I'm going to have to go shopping.
Luzerne's Max Meyer was on that list there, I've seen.
Oh, Carlos Heel. All right, we're getting there right ahead of Mbappe. This is why I love this game so much. Schlotterbeck, Grimaldo, Carlos Heel, Mbappe, James Madison, Juan Vargas. Why not?
And then Ali Bowie.
I wonder if the Kimmich one will start to drop. I mean, it should if he's actually out. Obviously, it's only do they play? I feel like sometimes Bayern play like very early after a game, like a international break, like Friday.
We're playing Saturday at 5:30 UK time.
All right.
So it's like the late kickoff.
Okay. So they should be okay. I have Fitz. Oh man. This is just killer because now I'm getting my hopes up.
Tyrrell's a good fixture. Dominic Fitz was in a really big team a weekend or so. I seen someone post a really good result recently, and Fitz was their striker. I think it was a cap mode win for somebody. I forget who it was now.
He's been pretty good recently, yeah.
Again, Blue Weishlands.
I got him kind of by accident. Like I got him in a trade that I was trying to get rid of a card, and he was I think I got it from a trader, and he was like there, and I was like, all right, I'll just get Fitz and then I'll sell him. And then he started scoring well, and just classic case. And then I kept him, and hopefully it helps. But yeah, I think there's De Kuiper against Kortrijk.
Callum McGregor, Triple A. Love to see that.
There you go. We should build in a team filter in here so that you can see like all of the how good Celtic is, all of the players.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That down. We've got Xavi Simons. Is it Simons or Simmons? I feel like I've heard equally of both. Anyone know?
I think because he's European, I'd say Simons.
Simon. Oh, even a different one. Thanks.
Just because he's European, I'd say Xavi Simons. You know.
Sugawara, Savio, Kavara, Hartman, they're all there. Brian Reynolds. How about that? Coming off a 99 for Westerlo.
It's finally happening. It's only taking 3 years.
And then, Hallen. He's good. I've heard of him.
Yeah. Some really good individuals there as well. I was going to say Hartman. It's really good to see. Like, I've not seen much of Feyenoord in my Sorare journey, like much. Also, I've seen them quite close playing Celtic, and I watched them the weekend before playing Celtic. And that Hartman, like he is, like if you haven't watched Feyenoord or if you're looking for like some, like how much is he there? His price kind of caught my eye there, 30 quid for the limited. Don't suppose that's cheap, I guess, these days. But he is like an elite defender. Like he will move up in the game, like physically. Like so against Celtic, they were playing Dyson Maeda, who's like quite famously like, you know, like gets stamina for days.
Yep.
This guy was brilliant physically. Honestly, I was really, really impressed with him. And yeah, and he's had some good international games. He got a goal. Yeah, I was thinking he was in the headlines recently. So he's a guy that, you know, if you like watching real world football along with you know, in terms of like get a guy and like Julian Alvarez, how much fun you had with that, Laird, and a lot of guys with Enzo, you know, you see them at a club and then they make the move and then they're still good, even better.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. This guy's probably going to have a year or two like that. I think he's really good.
Yeah, I didn't realize he got a call up this break, and yeah, some excellent scores. Yeah, good call. Yeah, no one. There's your boy Matt O'Reilly.
Oh, Laird. Laird. See, the last minute before deadline, I put Matt O'Reilly in my big team ahead of Stefan Savic, thinking San Marino, even if he comes off the bench for 10 minutes, he'll score 80. Like, just play him. Have fun.
Just play him.
Yeah, just play him. Have fun. Have a look. Come off the bloody bench. Nightmare. So I wish I'd stuck to my guns, but I wilted at the last minute and I gave in.
But think of all the fun that you would have had he come on. Maybe you would have felt like you really earned that one.
Yeah, totally. It'd have been a gut pick that paid off for sure.
Here's your
Bakali. Is he
is.
actually playing? Oh, Dov bike again. How did he play last game? We can actually scroll down. Did he hit? Oh, he did. He was AAA 76. That was good. What was his cap? 40 or something? That was a great one.
Yeah, 40 now. Yeah. Oh, I guess it would have been the same for the midweek. Yeah.
I see that guy there, Bakali. I think he's number 5. This guy is like, I don't know if you know him, Laird, but this guy's like an old Football Manager wonder kid. And like everyone, I think, has ever played Football Manager when you, like for a year or two anyway, because this guy's get cards from season 1 of Sorare from when he was at Anderlecht. And this is a guy that I know hundreds of people have looked at and thought, oh, he might be good one day, right? Because he was. Yeah.
Quinny, this weekend is the day.
This is the day. Bakali's in a AAA rated.
Oh, wait, he's not going to have limiteds. There we go. There he is.
But yeah, he was one of those guys that was meant to be a wonder kid at 17. And look at the picture there. He was 24. He looks like Adelta Rapt.
Johnny said I had a FIFA 13 player review on this guy. It's been like 11 years.
There you go.
I guess he's aged a little bit. Maybe it's just the lighting.
Yeah. So AAA for him this week, finally.
Mike was asking if he was at Ajax back in the day.
Somebody Dutch. But I just when I seen him in the top 5, I was like, wow, what a name to see. The beauty of Sorare.
Oh, PSV, not Ajax there. But yeah, totally the beauty of Sorare to see that guy and even know who he is, let alone know even more. There's Max Meyer with his 53 L15, still a high pick score for cat mode.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep going. Yeah, Hoyland's going to be a popular, like a high pick score guy for cap for a while, given how low his L15 is. But yeah, no one else really jumping out.
Yeah, surely opening out. I think we're going to see a lot. There's definitely going to be, at the end of this game week, there's definitely going to be 1 or 2 of those opportunities of people that strike good this weekend from playing like playing their own gallery against the leaderboard, if that makes sense, because of the stuff we spoke about earlier with 270, and like midweeks next week and that kind of thing. Because when Sorare add in these competitions, like everyone gets excited for them in some respects, and I think the excitement was so good for the first monthly that a lot of people were like, "Oh, I can see how I would play this kind of duplex role of having the kind of monthly tactics, look at the fixtures, plot ahead, as well as fight the battles every weekend." So like I just, it was something I was quite conscious of wanting to get over on the stream today because again we've kind of mentioned it already, but this weekend 100% it's just get that first team out. It might be 220, it might be kickoff, it might be a division everyone tells you is crap, but finishing first on a crap division is better than finishing 100th and getting nothing in the best division, if you know what I mean. So
yeah,
definitely the game week to fight your own fight this week.
I like that advice, and it kind of pulls back to what we showed at the beginning. Just we're working on helping you figure out what your best team actually is. And so for star members out there who use the lineup builder, use that lineup strength indicator, make all your, make a lineup. What I've been doing is I make a lineup for every division. So I'll just go like all-star rare. I'll make that one all-star rare pro, whatever the highest score is. It's like, all right, if I prioritize that one, how does the rest of my gallery look? And you can get lost in that thing. I tell you, take a whole afternoon just to put your feet up, throw it on your laptop, and just let's see what the world gives you. But thank you to everybody for joining us. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to this guy right here. I'm glad it wasn't too long that I had this talk without you today, Quinny. So I'm glad everybody made it. There were a bunch of fist bumps in the chat earlier. I don't know if you went back and saw them, but everybody starts throwing them now, which is always really fun for me as well. But yeah, thank you to everybody, and good luck this weekend.